Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hello, hello.
Yes, um we're going live here today and we're so excited. We're welcoming Rodolfo, who is our special guest today. Hello, Rodolfo.
Hi, Brenda. How are you?
Good, good. We didn't have a whole lot of time to chat before we got started, so um we're excited to have you again. He's been one of our special guests. He's been a reoccurring guest, and it's been such a pleasure having you because number one, he's kind of been willing to kind of join me a little bit more since Brittany, my co-host, who was with me so much.
Hmm.
We miss her so much, and she has gone on to do new and wonderful things in this world. So she is no longer with the ProCare team. So Rodolfo's kind of been helping me out and doing some wonderful things with us. And um, really, guys, I'm excited to have him today. So I'm going to kind of do a little introduction. Usually I have Rodolfo do an introduction, which he's going to also do, but I just want to kind of I don't feel like I ever do him a great service because he is such an amazing person. He's done so many great things. He's worked with programs since 2015. Rodolfo, is that right?
Yes, I
Um,
start my center in Chile that year. I started it, yeah.
okay, and been in the wellness field since around 2010, from what I understand, traveling all over
Yes.
the world, including Chile, which he came from. He's just recently moved to the United States. He's worked in Mexico, in Canada. I think you guys are going to love him. He is actually a life coach. He does sessions one on one, which I believe you're going to experience what his work is like. He does discovery calls. So, oh my gosh, he's going to give his information after this call, like at the end of this call. And please feel free to reach out. He does free discovery calls and he does one on one work. And one of those things you're going to experience what his work is like. And if it resonates, reach out to him and see if you can work one on one with him. So, for those of you who are just now joining us, I want to tell you, kind of introduce our topic tonight. We're going to be talking about how to stop self sabotage. And so, how many of us have, I'm going to call it a cycle, okay? And we're all in this. If you're joining us today, likely you're in this community because you're either have had weight loss surgery or you're planning to have weight loss surgery. And maybe this cycle of self sabotage is something that can affect all of us at some point in our life. So, this workshop is basically to help with whenever we're looking at our behaviors, okay? And we're directing our influence of maybe some of those thoughts that kind of come up. And whether we like it or not, maybe it's that I'm not worth it. I can't control what's going on. Maybe some insecurities of anxiety or um, confidence that kind of gets in the way. So, whenever we want to look at reclaiming, I'm going to call it personal power, but reconnecting with that
Mhm.
potential within ourselves. And Rodolfo is going to help teach us some things like why do we sabotage
Sabotage
ourselves?
ourselves. Yes.
Exactly. The thoughts and beliefs that go along with that, relationships between those beliefs and results, some techniques to remove those limiting beliefs, and then some keys to achieve those goals that we might be looking at. And Rodolfo, at this point, I'm going to kind of shift and turn things over to you to kind of get a little deeper into that. Okay.
Excellent. Great. So, thanks for that introduction. I will share my screen. Please give me 1 second. Okay, great. So, today we will talk about self-sabotage, and actually, I will give you tools to stop self-sabotage. As Brenda said, my name is Rodolfo Alvarez. I'm a wellness coach. I'm from Chile, and I'm currently living in Miami, Florida. I'm an expert in variation, and I've been supporting individuals and organizations with my wellness center since the year 2015. Okay. My country had and has critical overweight rates, and I started a program in which we helped individuals creating a balanced relationship with food, listening to the body and understanding their needs. Of course, in this journey, I've seen the impact of self sabotage. What I would like to do today is to share with you the causes of self sabotage and tools and techniques to start being aware of your behaviors and start transforming them. If there's something that's not clear, if you want me to repeat anything, please let me know. I want to be very clear that this is an instance of learning and I want you to create value. So if you're not understanding something, my purpose will not be meet, and I would like to meet it. Okay? So feel free and with a confidence to ask whatever you need. Before starting, that picture is a picture of my before and after. I haven't had bariatric surgery, but since I was a kid, I've been struggling with my weight. And it's something that I feel that is present inside of me, this battle, and will be forever. Okay? Having a balanced relationship with food is not something that ends. And self-sabotage is something that is present. So I would like to share today the tools that have helped me to maintain a balanced relationship with food. But before doing that, I would like to explore different ways in which we sabotage our weight loss journeys. Okay? So, first way, not tracking. I'm not sure the amount of macros that I'm having of each type of macro, and I'm assuming that I'm doing things correctly. Okay? But then maybe there's a point in which I'm not seeing results. That's a way in which we sabotage our journeys. Another way could be, for example, postponing prepping your meals. Okay. So it's Sunday, I'm tired, or maybe I'm enjoying my day with my family, and I tell myself, you know what? I will cook tomorrow, Monday. And then Monday starts, of course, you're busy all day because you have been working, and then there's no time to prep your meals, and you eat whatever is available for you. That could be another way of sabotaging your journey. A third way could be eating driven by emotions. So, for example, I'm experiencing anxiety, stress, anger, angst, I'm bored, maybe I'm tired, or maybe joy and happiness. And what I do in those circumstances is to turn to food, maybe unconsciously. There's a chance that maybe I don't know how to manage my emotions, and food is a mechanism that is available for me, right? And I turn maybe unconsciously to food. Another way that we sabotage ourselves is not setting effective boundaries. Actually, the holidays are coming. Maybe it's Christmas night. You decided what you were going to have for dinner, but someone offers you something additional to that. And you are there, you don't know how to say no. Maybe you feel uncomfortable because you want to do what the other people are doing, maybe having a sense of belonging, etc. And another way that we could sabotage ourselves is maybe not having the amount of macros that we require. Maybe I have a limiting belief, a limiting thought, which is that, I don't know, eating fat is unhealthy or eating carbs is unhealthy. And I avoid those macros that are necessary for my body. So I'm just giving you some examples, but I would like to know if you identify with some of them. Please, I would like to learn by the chat. Because during my journey to create a balanced relationship with food, I've been struggling with this lots of times. And sometimes these kind of blockages manifest in a regular day, all of them, or some of them. So I would like to learn from you. So I invite you to write by the chat if you sabotage your weight loss journey in some of the ways that I've been sharing. And if not, if you sabotage your weight loss journey in additional ways or different ways.
Rodolfo, I do have a question for you by chance. For whatever reason, I don't know if there's no comments in the chat or if it's just not popping up on my end. Are you seeing any comments in the chat right now?
So there's a comment 5 minutes ago from Jacqueline, which says hi. Stephanie said hi. Jenny said hello from Abilene, Texas. Stephanie said, love Brenda and Rodolfo. They are awesome. We have another comment from Dorothy. You can see them or not?
I cannot for whatever crazy reason. So
okay, I can read them. No worries.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Just
Dorothy
be aware that I'm not seeing them on my end.
Okay, great. So Dorothy's saying it was a year, December 11th, that I lost my little sister. So sorry, Dorothy, for that loss. And on that day, I just wanted to eat food all day. And it's understandable because I imagine that the pain that you experience must be so intense. So that's a way we sabotage our weight loss journeys, right? Like trying to disconnect from those emotions that are so painful, so painful. Thanks for being vulnerable, Dorothy, and sharing that with us. Vanessa is saying, yes, all of those ways, and by being on autopilot, letting my habits take over and not thinking before eating. Okay, so just eating something that's available, but I'm not understanding why that behavior was triggered. Yes, all of it, I'm so overwhelmed, says Nicole. Enid says, yes, we are. Teresa says I self-sabotage. Excellent. Okay, so these are different ways we sabotage our weight loss journey. And I would like to explain the definition of self-sabotage, okay? That's the beginning of everything. So self-sabotage happens when the actions that we are following are not aligned with the results that we want to achieve. So for example, maybe I have a specific goal that I would like to reach, right? And I know that I should manage my emotions, set boundaries, prepare my meals, track my food, have a specific amount of macros, etc. And the actions that I'm following are not those. I'm following other actions. That's a sabotage, okay? And what is important to understand is why we sabotage ourselves and who are the people that struggle with these type of behaviors. So first of all, we need to understand that self-sabotage is not that just something happened amongst this community. It's something that humans experience. That's the first thing that we need to understand. Actually, self-sabotage or sabotage is related to our instincts and self-defense mechanisms. Our behavior as human is driven by two forces. One is avoiding pain, and the other is experiencing pleasure. So for example, let's say that I was a human being in the past, a prehistoric human being, walking by nature, and I saw an animal that was dangerous. Maybe when I saw that animal, I experienced fear, anxiety. And given that, I ran away, I escaped. Okay? So that behavior is triggered by fear. Let's say that I was the same human walking, and then I saw an apple or a cherry over a tree. And maybe I got close to that tree, to that fruit. I got the fruit and I ate the fruit. That behavior was triggered by getting pleasure. Okay? What do we need to understand? That we will sabotage ourselves when we escape from our fears. And escaping from our fears, that force will be higher than the force that we will experience if we achieve a specific result. For example, I know that I would like to get a job. So in my mind, I will get pleasure if I get that job. But I experience fear of applying to the job and all the process that I need to go through. If that fear is higher, I will sabotage myself and I will not apply to the job. For example, dating. I would like to find a partner. Maybe I have an illusion that being with someone would be something nice and I'm seeking pleasure in that way. But I know that maybe someone can break my heart too. If the pain of breaking my heart is higher than the pleasure of being with someone, I will sabotage myself and I will not find a partner. In terms of, for example, food, what I see a lot, people that are wanting to lose weight, right? But then losing weight will mean that they will have to experience pain in different ways. For example, I will have two events and say no and experiencing a sense of not belonging, of being different, of being isolated. And that pain could be so powerful and maybe bigger than the power of wanting to lose weight. So at the end, what I say is, you know what? Like, I will accept that piece of food. I will have some cake. I will drink something, right? So we sabotage ourselves if that phenomenon happens. I would like to know if you are following me. Please, guys, let me know.
Rodolfo, I have a question about that. How do you know? How do you know what it is that, like, say, for example, the weight loss piece? How do you know what it is that might be causing you to sabotage yourself? How do you know?
So the roots are our thoughts. Okay,
Mhm.
that's the root. And the best way to start making changes is to start being aware of the thoughts that we're having. That's like the general advice, right? But if you want to know if you're sabotaging yourself, it's very easy. The question that you need to ask yourself is, are the actions that I'm following aligned with the results that I would like to achieve? Yes or no? If the actions that I'm following are aligned with the results that I want to achieve, I'm not sabotaging myself. If the actions that I'm following are not aligned with the results that I want to achieve, I'm sabotaging myself. So, for example, if I want to lose weight, right, and maybe succeed in my bariatric journey, I would be doing all the things that I mentioned in the other slide: tracking my macros, prepping my food, managing my emotions, setting boundaries, right? But if we're not doing that, if our actions are not aligned with our final result, that's a sabotage. Make sense?
Mhm.
Excellent. Now, let's go deeper. Why do we sabotage ourselves? There are like deeper reasons. The reason that I gave you about seeking pleasure and avoiding pain is the general explanation, but I would like to delve into other causes. Okay? So, one of the ways could be because you have a low self concept. What do I mean with this? For example, maybe I learned that I was the smart kid when I was a kid. I was a smart kid, but I wasn't an athlete. So I'm not good working out, and I'm not good at having healthy habits. And maybe that's making me today sabotage myself because I think that being healthy or adding movement to my life is not aligned with who I am. That could be an option. Okay. Then another cause could be that you are not able to manage your emotions. So again, you experience anxiety, stress, anger, any emotion. This emotion comes up and then you don't know what to do. So, for example, in that case, you turn to food and we have a case of emotional eating, right? Then maybe you don't know how to deal with your fears. So, for example, if I'm sticking to a healthy eating plan, I go to an event, someone offers something to me, and that's not allowed in my plan, so I should say no. But maybe I don't know how to deal with the fear of rejection, or I don't know how to deal with the fear of not belonging. And as I don't know how to deal with that fear, I say yes, and I have what they are offering. That could be an option. Or maybe I don't know how to deal with the fear of failure or failing. So maybe that's why I haven't been applying to jobs because I don't want to be rejected. I don't want them to tell me that I'm not good enough. So that could be another option. And then maybe we have some beliefs that are internalized that make us sabotage ourselves. For example, let's say that I'm from a family from Philadelphia and they love to have cheesesteak, right? They love that. And then when I gather with my family and we get together, if they are eating, I feel that I have to eat because like that's what I'm used to. So those beliefs tend to influence our behaviors. That could be an option. For example, if I was a kid and I felt when I was a kid that I wasn't enough for my parents, maybe today what I'm doing is validating the same belief in other relationships. And unconsciously, I'm trying to honor what I learned from them or repeating the behavior. That could happen too. This is very interesting because when we are kids, we start learning things about our world. For example, maybe I learned that things are hard, right? Things are difficult. And as I learned that as a kid, maybe today what I'm doing is trying to replicate that and unconsciously taking that to my bariatric journey. So maybe there was a week that I lost weight, another week that I lost weight. Everything was being easy for me, but unconsciously I think that things should be difficult. So guess what I do? I add a problem. I make things difficult for me. Why? Because I need to be loyal to the thoughts that I learned unconsciously when I was a kid. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Regardless, you're always right. You're always right. Whether, whatever you tell yourself, you're always right. So, Rodolfo, again, I can't see the chat. So,
Yes.
is there any
I will
chat?
share with you. Yeah, no, I will
Okay.
share with you. It's interesting because I'm like moderator and teacher at the same time. I love this. So give me 1 second. So Teresa shared, I get bored, so I eat. So in that case, Teresa, like we have a case of emotional eating. And the question is, what do you really need? Because probably that emotion is emerging because you have a need. In the case of being bored, the need could be maybe to have fun, doing something that you enjoy. So the question would be, what could be an alternative routine instead of eating, right? Because you have a need that it will be powerful to satisfy. Nicole is saying, I'm sabotaging, but not sure why. I want to lose weight. So Nicole, first of all, if you're sabotaging yourself and you identify that, excellent. That's the beginning. My next question for you would be, how are you sabotaging yourselves? What are the actions that you are following that are not aligned with the results that you want to achieve? So you can write down maybe all the actions that you're following that are not aligned with the results. That's the first step. In a while, I will share with you, Nicole, the next steps after that, okay? But that's the beginning. Dorothy is sharing, Nicole, I'm right there with you. I want to lose this weight. So Dorothy, if you would like to understand why are you sabotaging yourself, the same. Write all the actions that you're following that are not aligned with the result that you would like to achieve. Teresa is sharing, I need to lose weight. I think it's hard to do that. I just keep pushing myself. But more than pushing yourself, like allow yourself to stop, to identify what's not working. Because if you try to just keep going, but you are not analyzing what's triggering this behavior, then probably you will repeat the behavior because the roots will stay there. Nicole is sharing, when I was a kid, I was fat and always on diets, and I guess I just accepted I'm fat. Nicole, thanks for sharing that example. There's people that come, this is my case too, from families that we are big families. That's the story that like my family told me when I was a kid, like, oh, no, you're from a big family. And unconsciously, I've been saying that to me. Actually, one of the things that I learned when I was a kid was that like I ate more than the other kids because I was hungry more than them, always. And that was a belief that for a long time made me eat more without being hungry. And actually, right now, I've been discovering that I don't need that much food, actually. But it was a limiting thought that I learned when I was a kid from my family. And unconsciously, I was trying to honor or replicate what I learned when I was a kid. Brenda, is there anything else that you would like to add or anything that you would like to say related to the comments?
I know Michelle, I don't know if she's on here with us, but she is from the Berry Nation crew. And she said she was trying to type a note, but it's not going through. So I'm waiting for her to reply through Berry Nation.
Mhm.
I don't see the note yet. So I'll just kind of I'll stop you whenever I see that. But I don't really have anything else. No, I think everything what you're saying it resonates. It's like it's good. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so I would like to make a summary, right, for our attendees. If you want to stop self-sabotage, the step number one is detect the actions that you are following today that are not aligned with the results that you want to achieve. That's step number one. Okay? Perfect. So let's continue. As we have been sharing, thoughts are really, really important. And why thoughts are important? Because at the end, our thoughts will determine the results that we will achieve. If I'm telling myself, for example, that I'm a person that can't control myself, if I'm repeating to myself that I can't control myself, and I go to an event and someone offers something to me, it's likely that I will say, you know what, yes, I will have it, please give me more. So I'm in that event, I'm going to say, yes, I would like to eat. I will start eating, I will follow some actions. And then next Monday, when I measure my weight on the scale, right, I will see the number, and that number will not be a happy number. So if you notice, with that example, everything started with a thought. I was telling myself that I was not able to control myself. As I was telling that to myself, maybe I felt anxiety. As I was experiencing anxiety, I ate something, or maybe I overate. And then next Monday, I weighted myself, and then the number wasn't a happy number. So if you want to achieve the goals that are important for you, the beginning is to start shifting your mindset and removing the thoughts that are making you sabotage yourself. Let's say that I would like to go on dates and find a partner. This is an example that I see a lot. Okay, that's why I'm sharing this with you. And I feel that I'm not good enough. Maybe I go out on dates, I meet new people, and when I start feeling attracted, maybe I start thinking, oh, but what if this person lose the interest? Why if they abandon me because I'm not good enough? And maybe unconsciously in that moment, what I do is say, oh, you know what? I really like this person. It has a specific flaw. I'm not going to tolerate that. I will not date with this person anymore. And with that, I'm closing the door of generating this relationship. So if you notice, everything started in that example too with a thought. If I'm thinking that I'm not good enough, probably, I will have a fear of losing people at some point, right? Or maybe I will try to improve all the time to get the love of others, which at the end is not sustainable. And that will make me sabotage myself at some point and lose the opportunity to have those relationships. Maybe I would like to find a specific type of job. Maybe I'm scared because I feel that I'm not capable. So I know that there's an application process that I should follow, but maybe I avoid and I resist to follow the process. And when I meet the deadlines, I don't send the documents that were required. Magically, that day, I forgot to send the documents, but I don't know why. But probably what is happening is that there's a part of me that unconsciously is protecting me from that pain of that fear. And that's why I'm not sending the documents, and that's why I don't continue in the process to apply to the job that I want. So, about our thoughts, we need to understand the following. A person has thousands of thoughts per day. If we say something aloud, it's 10 more times powerful. What do I mean with that? If I think that I'm not capable, that's one thing. But if I'm telling myself or others aloud that I'm not powerful, for example, or that I'm not capable, that will be 10 times emotionally, like that will have 10 times more intensity in terms of like our emotions, the emotions that we experience, right? So that will probably paralyze us. And then if I'm having negative thoughts are 7 times or 8 times more powerful than a normal, a neutral, or a positive thought. Why I'm saying this to you? Because I want you to start being aware of what you say. And I want you to start being aware of the negative things that you say about yourselves. When we tell other people that we are not good enough, that we are not capable, that people will abandon us, that we are not worth it, and we repeat those conversations, what we're doing is programming our brains to believe that that is true. And our brain in a regular day don't understand what is the reality and what are just our thoughts. So the beginning of this journey to stop self-sabotage is, as I told you, identify the actions that you're following that are not aligned to the results that you want to achieve, step number 1. And then step number 2, what are the thoughts that are triggering those actions? Because when you are doing those actions, you're having thoughts. And my invitation is to start exploring what are those thoughts in those moments. When, for example, I'm experiencing anxiety and I eat something, what I'm thinking, what I'm telling myself, what's my inner dialogue? Maybe I'm telling myself that I'm not capable, that I'm not good enough, that I'm tired of being restricted, that this is not sustainable. But I want you to write down a list with all the thoughts, because after being aware of the thoughts, you will be able to start managing them. Nicole is sharing, I'm very negative. I'm trying to work on being positive. Extraordinary, extraordinary. Because as I told you, Nicole, a negative thought is 8 times more powerful than a neutral or positive thought. And if you repeat this out loud, 10 times more powerful. So at the end, we're programming ourselves and we're setting the space for failure. That's what we are doing when we are saying loud those thoughts. So that's why we need to be aware of them. Okay? I would like to know if we have questions. And I would like to know too, if you're following me, please let me know.
Rodolfo, I think Michelle, who I mentioned from Berry Nation, said that, I mean, her comment that she wanted to just say was just basically, sometimes it's just hard. Like when somebody offers you something and it feels like, she said, somebody gives you a treat and it feels like you have to try it instead of throwing it out. And then also I have something after that I wanted to add too, but I want you to comment on hers first.
Yes. So in that case, I think that a powerful thing to explore is the following. If you say no, like, no, thank you, what is the emotion that would emerge? That's the question that I have for her. And why I'm asking this? Because probably that's an emotion that for her is difficult to process. So the beginning to change and transform the behavior is to learn to manage first that emotion. Because actually, if you say no, you're not doing anything wrong. But maybe your interpretation and the thoughts that accompany that emotion in that moment are that maybe, I don't know, you're not being respectful, or they will judge you, or you are being rude. And those thoughts are the thoughts that need to be managed.
I think sometimes we're just programmed to think that, we have to be appreciative and we have to accept things a certain way. So, I mean, sometimes it's that. And then kind of going back to what you were talking about your thoughts in the slide here. Today, I was listening to a podcast on, I listen to a lot on energy work because that's my passion on the side. And we were talking about intention and about energy and talking about how powerful our intention and thoughts are. And so, one of the little exercises in knowing how powerful your thoughts are, if you were to take, like, just take your arms, and you guys can't see me because I'm kind of like too close to the camera, but just hold them straight out. and make an intention to kind of bring your arms, put them on your hips from your straight out position, and like turn a certain way and see how far you can turn with your elbow and like mark that spot wherever that is. And then go back to your neutral spot and then make an intention that you're going to go a quarter more further than your last spot. Like make an intention that you're going to do it. Okay. And just see if you're able to do it. Like your intention can promote you even further. So just see if you can go even further. And it's crazy because just that intention, not the flexibility of just being able to do it, but the actual intention, it's incredible. Try it. See if anybody want to comment. I can't see the comments right now, but maybe Rodolfo can help me. But there's a lot of other little tricks that that I can show, but I don't want to. I just think intention is so strong. Like what's going through your mind and what's going through your head is what rules your everyday life. And if nothing else, if you can capture that in the moment. And it's okay to have some negative thoughts because we all do from time to time, but it's about capturing it and then saying stop, like stopping it, and then turning it around and saying, you know, I can, like, whatever the opposite is of that is. I mean, it's so simple. It's so simple. Just saying, I can turn this around and I can find a way to make this something more positive, you know?
I was thinking about another activity that they could do in order to experience what you're sharing, Brenda, which is the following. If you have a weight, try to lift it, telling yourself that you will not be able to do it. And repeat to yourself, like, you can do it, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. And then try saying, yes, you can, this is possible. And notice the difference of the strength that your arm or the muscle that you are like working out in that moment will have. It's impressive. It's impressive. That's why, for example, if you go to the gym and you like listen motivated music, you will get motivated. If you listen depressing music, you will get depressed. Like that's how it is, right? And at the end, like our thoughts are like the music of our lives.
You know, it's interesting, Rodolfo. I used to do whenever I would speak in groups with whenever the energy work that I was doing, I'd speak in groups and I'd actually do an example where I'd have someone stand in front of the room. And it actually works. That same example works on other people too. If you have a person stand in front of a room and you send positive affirmations and you muscle test that person, like you have somebody stand out in the room and you muscle test their arm strength wise to see how strong their arm is. You do a baseline first and you muscle test them. And you have people send positive affirmations to them and test the strength. And the strength is really strong. You have them stand there again. And then you have people send negative thoughts to that person. And you muscle test them again. And their strength goes way down. So you can influence another person's thoughts as well if they're not aware. Like if they're not strong in their own influence, like if I'm not influencing my own thoughts and being really strong and somebody else is around me and really sending me negativity, you're around people that are negative, you're also going to have influence of that if you're not aware of that. If you're not aware of it and you're allowing influence from other people, your muscles in your body, your cells of your body are going to feel that as well. So just be aware the people that you're around, the influence that you're around can also affect you too.
Totally. So I will read the comments, okay, on the chat. Can I?
Absolutely, yes.
So Dorothy shared, I'm very negative. I have been working on being positive. Teresa shared, someone gave me a cookie at work and I passed it to someone else. I consider that a win for me. That's totally a win, of course. That's like setting boundaries. I'm with you there, sister, but like Dorothy, says Nicole. Thanks, Nicole. If you need someone to talk to, you can friend me on Facebook. Excellent. I like how they develop connections and support networks. That's great. So, are we ready to continue, Brenda? And I would like to
Yes.
ask actually our attendees if you're ready to continue with the contents of this class in this support group.
What was that, Rodolfo? I'm so sorry.
Yes, no, I'm asking if they are ready to continue.
Yes.
I want to check
yes.
if they are
Keep
there,
going.
they are following
Keep
us.
going. Yes. It looks
Okay,
like
Dorothy is saying yes. Great.
it looks like
Yes.
Michelle is also saying she said she feels like she was being rude or a downer, and she said, when I was a kid, I was fat and always on diets, and I guess I just accepted that. She said trying to work on being positive. She said, I'm trying to work on it. So
It's interesting
keep
because what Michelle said takes us to the beginning of the class, right? When I explained the relationship between sabotage and our identity, right? And how, for example, maybe as a kid, I defined myself as a kid that was always struggling with her weight. I was always on diet, you know? And then maybe those thoughts are operating and are active inside of her, and they are determining like some of the results that she has today. So that would be interesting to explore. So Jacqueline is saying, yes, we are ready to continue. Nicole too, Teresa too. Excellent. So now I would like to share some of the thoughts that most of my clients have and make them sabotage themselves, and how to start removing them and replacing them for other thoughts. So one of the most typical thoughts is I'm not capable. That's one of them. Okay. And typically, people tell themselves that they are not capable when they feel that they don't have the resources to achieve a specific result. So, for example, let's say that I would like to go on a trip. Okay, I would like to travel for my holidays, for my vacations, right? What are the resources that I need if I want to travel? Maybe I will need money. That's one of the resources. And another resource could be time. When our mind feels that we are not capable to when we feel that we can't generate those resources, we tell ourselves that we are not capable. Okay? What's interesting? We are capable to achieve things in the way that we are open to get out of our comfort zones. I remember that I was in a workshop in Chile, in an in-person workshop at that time before COVID, before the pandemic. And I was like doing a class on healthy habits and lifestyle and everything. And I was very inspired. And when I was talking about healthy habits, there was a person that raised her hand and she said, you know what? I agree with what you're saying, but the lifestyle that you're promoting is not possible to get. Like, you need a lot of time to prepare your meals, a lot of time to work out, to eat healthy, and then I need to work and take care of my family, etc. Okay, and I was very inspired. And when she shared that, I was like, oh no, what I'm going to do, right? Like, this workshop is going to be like a failure. That was my thought. But then I was like, okay, wait. And I asked her a question, which was the following. Let's say that I pay you $200 for every day that you are able to work out and prepare your meals. Would you be in? Would you be open to do that? Would you be capable of doing that? And she responded, yes, I would. And then I was like, wait, no, wait a second. You said before that you were not capable. So why now that I'm offering you an incentive and money, now you're capable? And she was like, well, because now I'm motivated. And I was like, okay, so actually, this is not about your resources and you being capable. This is about motivation. And if you are enough motivation, you will make the efforts to achieve the result. Why I'm sharing this story with you? Because we tell ourselves that we are not capable of achieving things, when actually what is happening is that maybe achieving those things will mean that we need to get out of our comfort zones. And sometimes we are not willing to do that. And it's better to have an honest conversation with yourself and tell yourself, you know what, today I'm not willing to make the effort, instead of telling yourself that you are not capable. The interesting thing is that if you need resources or maybe skills, for example, to apply to a specific job, you can develop those skills. So at the end, telling yourself that you are not capable is just something that will prevent you to achieve the goal for a while, when actually you could be spending time on developing those resources. Am I being clear? Yes. So that's the first thought. I'm not capable. And a way to reframe that is I can develop skills to achieve my goal. And asking yourself, what are those skills that I will develop? That's an alternative interpretation. The next one, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. So, for example, I would like to find a partner. Okay. I go out on dates. I am on the date. And I feel that the person that I've just met is so good for me. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this person. That happens a lot. Actually, this is a thought that I would say that is present a lot in people that have low self-esteem, because they feel that there's not consistency between who they are and the results that they want. There's like an asymmetry, right? So they feel that they don't deserve those results, and unconsciously they sabotage themselves. Okay? A way to start removing this thought is to start asking yourself, where's your value actually? Sometimes people feel that their value is on how smart they are, how attractive they are. Their value is on their weight. Their value is on their performance. That's what people tell themselves. And the interesting thing is that value is something that is relative, and all of us have different values, and we have different aspects actually that are valuable. So maybe there's someone that is coming to your life, a partner that is seeing your value, and maybe you are not seeing your value, but we all evaluate different things. So why don't you allow the other person to define where's your value and if they are attracted to you, instead of you deciding the value that other people perceive on you? That could be a way to reframe that, right? Then, this is a limiting belief, very present on people. This is too good to be true. So I started my bariatric journey. I'm losing weight. Everything is going fine. I'm not having any problem. This is too good to be true. There's need to be something wrong. There needs to be something wrong. And unconsciously, they start creating problems in relationships, in their bariatric journeys, related to their health. I've seen that a lot. Like people that tell themselves that they are sick, that they have something, and they don't have anything, but they tell that to themselves, right? Because maybe they learned that things are hard. Life is hard. So when things are still, that feels like a threat. And they want to go back to what they learned, which was that life is hard, and perceive threats, because that's their comfort zone unconsciously. Okay? And actually, maybe if you're having this thought that things are too good to be true, an alternative interpretation could be, I don't know if things are going this good. I'm going to wait and test it out, or test them out, and wait to see what happens. But telling yourself that like things are false or are not true, right? That's going to the extreme. Maybe you need time to check if, for example, the person that you just met is a good fit for you, right? Maybe you just need time to check if you are going to keep losing weight in your bariatric journey in the same that you did in the past. Allow yourself the space to test it, instead of making a choice about things being true or false. That's a suggestion. And then there's another thought, which is, I don't belong. I'm an outsider. That thought has been present in me a lot since I was a kid. Actually, I was the chubby kid in a class in which like my classmates were all thin. So I always have felt like I'm the different one. Okay. And the interesting thing again is that that's an illusion, because we are all different as people. We all have different values, different characteristics. So at the end, we can always find similarities with other people and find ways in which fit in and belong. And yes, we can find differences too. That's true. But in what would you like to focus? In the similarities or in the differences? And maybe today is going to be more convenient to me to start finding similarities in order to feel that I belong and that I'm in a safe space. So I just gave you 4 examples of limiting thoughts that people have and that tend to make them sabotage themselves. And the interesting thing is that in a day, we have thousands of thoughts. So my invitation for you is to start being aware of your limiting thoughts. There's a picture of an iceberg, and why I shared this picture. An iceberg has a 10% of its volume over the level of water. And 90% of the volume is underneath of the level of the water. With our thoughts, the same happens. So if you today are following actions that are not aligned with the results that you would like to achieve, then the invitation is to start checking the thoughts that you're having. Maybe you're telling yourself, I'm not capable, I'm not worth it, I'm not powerful, this lifestyle is not for me. I'm not meant to work out, right? This lifestyle is for other people, etc., etc., etc. And then after being aware of those thoughts, you will be able to start replacing and transforming those thoughts and adding new ones. That's the invitation. So, Nicole says, I feel I'm not power enough. That's a limiting thought, right? I'm not power enough. And of course, that is going to make you sabotage yourself because maybe someone will offer you something that you love to eat, but you know that you can't have it, right? And then you will tell yourself, I'm not powerful enough. And you will doubt yourself and you will feel a lack of self-confidence. And maybe you will say, yes, you know what, I will have a little. So that's a limiting thought, that would be important to remove. Nicole is asking, what about power? I feel I'm not strong enough. Not sure what will motivate me. So, Nicole, I'm not strong enough. That's a thought. Actually, like the root thought of that thought is I'm not enough. There's something missing, right? And it would be interesting in your case to start exploring where is that thought coming from. Typically, people feel that they are not enough because in the past, um, they were not capable to get the love that they wanted from other people. For example, their parents. This is just an example. I'm not saying this is your case, but that's how typically this starts. I want to be loved by someone. I can't receive that love. So as a kid, what I tell myself is that I'm not enough. And that's why I'm not getting the love. So the illusion of the mind is that I should change something and be different in order to receive the love, right? And I start telling myself, you're not good enough. You are not powerful enough, you are not enough attractive, etc., etc., etc. So in your case, Nicole, if you're having the thought of I'm not strong enough, we should explore when did that thought started? Because you didn't come to this world and when you were a baby, like you had this thought in your mind. You learned that. We as humans learn things. And most of the thoughts that we have, right, are or learned in events that were intense or were learned by our environment. Like we were immersed in a specific environment and we learned from that environment. So if you would like to achieve a specific result, if you're not achieving the result today, check your actions, the actions that you're following that are making sabotage yourself. Check the ways that you are feeling, and in this sequence, take notes of your thoughts. That's the beginning. And after that, you will be able to start a process to transforming or removing your limiting thoughts. But I think that for today, and with the purpose of this workshop, this is like the beginning of the journey. And just being aware of your limiting thoughts, it's a huge progress. Nicole is sharing, my parents divorced. Okay, Nicole, good work, excellent. So I want you to start like noticing all the thoughts, the roots of the thoughts, and actually after what you could do is a process to reprogram and transform those thoughts. Donna is asking Brenda. Hi, Brenda. Will this be available to watch tonight since I got on late? I definitely want to watch this tonight. I definitely needed this.
Yes, it'll be immediately available right after this replay, like right after we get finished. After we get finished, I submit it, and it should be available within minutes after we get done for the complete replay. And also, I want to just say too, to add to everything that Rodolfo's saying, I feel like if you're here tonight and you feel something coming up within yourself, like maybe it's some kind of negativity of you're feeling something that's, maybe you feel like a word, maybe it's something about worthiness or some of those things that Rodolfo brought up, some of the things that you guys brought up in the chat box. To me, that's an invitation. It's an invitation that you're inviting yourself to change something. And to me, that is such, I feel like it's such a big thing. It's like, it's life-changing. It's a transformation that you're inviting yourself into. Like you're here on this call, you're being aware of something that is wanting to change, like you're becoming aware of something. And so already you've started the change. Like already you become aware of the thoughts. This little diagram that Rodolfo is showing you, become aware of the thoughts. You've become aware of the emotions that are elicited. You've already are directing your behavior immediately because you're aware, your awareness, and already, I feel like already you're going to start seeing results just from this call. I feel strongly about that. I feel like already you're going to start seeing changes.
Yes, like just for noticing the limiting thought, you're creating value. Like that's the beginning, right?
Immediately.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yes. Totally, 100%. Vanessa shared, you have to love yourself the way you love others. Talk yourself as nicely as you would someone you care about. Build a relationship with yourself and you will get stronger. Ask yourself how you will feel after you miss a goal. It's what I'm trying. Yes, like practicing self-compassion with ourselves, basically, right? And which is related to having a positive self-talk. Dorothy is asking, how do I tell myself not to worry about what people think of me or think they will judge me? So there's a technique that I teach that helps people to reframe and transform negative or limiting thoughts, which is the following. In the world, you can find evidence for whatever you need or want. So for example, if I want to find evidence that people will judge me, in my mind, I will have example of people that have judged me in my life. If I want to find evidence of people that will not judge me and accept me and embrace me, like I will find those examples too. So at the end, it's a matter of like choosing evidence to collect thoughts that are powerful for you. So in which would you like to focus? You can find evidence for whatever you want, Dorothy. So my invitation today is to start thinking about people that prove you that they will accept you, right? So that's a way to remove limiting thoughts. There are some thoughts that are inside of us that is harder to remove. It's not as easy of what I just said, right? Because maybe our thoughts that are related to painful events. For example, something associated to what Nicole shared, a divorce of my parents when I was a kid. Maybe that was an intense event that I experienced, that I lived, and not just an event, a moment or a time of my life. And in those cases, what I do is that I have a process called a reprogramming process, in which we identify with the person the thoughts that they built in those events, right? And we start finding alternative thoughts, which is a process that needs more time. And I need to work with you one-on-one to understand different facts of the thought, the function of the thought, why as a kid you discovered that about yourself or decided that about yourself, and then we come up with alternative thoughts. Before closing, I would like to share that my Instagram account is Rodolfo Alvarez X. Actually, if you scan the barcode of the slide, you will be redirected to my Instagram account. And I would like to say the following. If today in this class you created value, and maybe as Brenda was sharing, like there was something resonating inside of you with what I'm sharing, and you would be interested in working with me, you can schedule a discovery session. What is a discovery session? It's a session in which we will work one-on-one, and I will help you to detect the roots of your thoughts. So if today you're sabotaging yourself because you have a thought, like for example, I'm not powerful, I'm not good enough, I'm not capable, in the session, I will guide you through a process to go to the roots of that thought and start the process to transforming that thought. I have some slots available. Just if you're interested in working with me, please, you can click the link that I just shared on the chat, and then we can have the discovery session. And in the session, I can explain you actually next steps if you would be like interested in working deeper on yourself and removing all this negative self-talk. So I would like to share some messages before closing. Vanessa is saying, at the end of the day, people will not be alone with you or inside of your mind, so you have to let go of what they think. Whether you're skinny or fat, mean or nice, some people will always have something to say. So if you're trying to improve yourself, those people's thoughts or actions don't matter. Let them think or say whatever they want. It's often reflection of their own insecurities. Donna is saying, what other people think doesn't validate me. Find out who you are and start there. I put myself first and do a lot of positive self-talk. Nicole is sharing, Rodolfo, you're amazing. Thank you, Nicole. So if you're interested in keep working your limiting thoughts, please schedule the discovery session. Dorothy is saying, for example, I will be spending Christmas with my daughter's son-in-laws and my girl's dad and his young wife. And I'm afraid he judges me because I'm single. So again, in that case, what's the evidence that you are collecting? Maybe there's people that will judge you. That's true. I may agree with a message that was prior to that, right? But maybe there's people that will not. And where's your focus? In which people would you like to focus on, right? Oh, and Vanessa is offering support to Dorothy. So extraordinary, excellent. So I will just add again the link of the discovery session. If some of you would be interested in working with me, I would like to say thanks for attending the support group. Brenda, would you like to say something? It's interesting because I'm like the moderator, but like actually I'm not. So Brenda, please. I'm sorry.
No, this is all wonderful. I mean, you always give so much great information. It's just hard to stop because just a lot, and people appreciate it. It's life-changing. Like I said, people leaving this workshop today, there's things that you can take away, and really the thing that matters the most is how you feel about yourself. And if you want to go out and change the world, the best way to do that is to change yourself, to empower yourself. And by what I mean by empowering yourself, I mean to be the best that you can be and to feel the best that you can be, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, to whatever that looks like. And it can look differently every day. So taking back that power within yourself to be that every day. And so as part of the ProCare Health team, and this is why we sponsor these events, because we feel like it's so important for us to be part of a community that is always looking for the bariatric community to if you're staying, our thought process is if bariatric patients are staying in track with their bariatric lifestyle, if they're feeling empowered to have that lifestyle, if they're feeling like they're able to be emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually intact, and they're doing those things and they're keeping engaged in community, they're going to be taking vitamins, they're going to be doing all those other things. So we're here just to kind of support the community, and we're so happy that we're able to have people like you, Rodolfo, on this community. And for those of you guys who don't know our sponsor, at the end, we always try to just highlight something. So I'm going to just introduce our sponsor. For those of you guys who don't know ProCare, I'll show you our ProCare Health website and just kind of introduce you. I will say too, I got a special little surprise for you guys too, which is kind of exciting. I'm going to do a quick little screen share because I know we're kind of like at time here, and I'm going to go to the ProCare Health website. Here's our ProCare Health website. For those of you guys who are not familiar with it, I'm going to copy. It's just procarenow.com. What we're known for is being the first multivitamin to be a one a day. And so I'm going to just hold up one of those. This is our most popular vitamin. It's only $11.99 per month. We third-party test every single one to make sure you're getting everything you need. It's only $11.99. It's found here under the products, under Bariatric multivitamins. If you haven't ever tried us before, right here under free samples, you can try. There's this little pop-up that pops up every once in a while that says about we're not handing out samples, but we are. So please feel free to fill out a sample request. We'd be happy to fulfill that. I am going to just mention here under our calcium supplements, one of our most popular calcium supplements is our calcium dark chocolates, which look like, kind of grab a bag up here, look like this. Everybody's been on hold for those because, let me just stop screen sharing. They are a seasonal product, and usually we only have them during the cool months. I just got word that they're coming in, and they will be in very, 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 very soon. I can't give you a date, but just be aware that they will be in very, very, very soon. Just be watching social media, your emails for them. So that's all I have. And I just want to thank you all for staying with us. This will be on replay. So if you want to come back and watch and get all those nice little nuggets, because it's a lot to absorb. Like sometimes you have to, like a lot of these, I have to come back and I rewatch them because I want to absorb all the information. So thank you, Rodolfo. As always, you're such a blessing. Rodolfo and I have also talked about doing some fun things. So be on the lookout for this next year. I don't know if you want to say anything about that or if you just want to keep it a surprise, Rodolfo.
We can keep it as a surprise for now.
Okay. So we will be look out for more things to come with Rodolfo throughout this next year. So we will be doing those. And thank you everybody who's joined us. If you are attending this as part of required attendance for your pre-surgical requirements, I do, for those facilities that are signed up, I do send attendance to specific facilities and they get attendance. So if your facility is one of those, I send those at the end of next week. They'll be receiving that. So just be aware. Reach out to your facility at the end of next week if you are wanting to just assure that that was received. But other than that, that's all I have. I just want to thank each of you. I want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a very Merry Happy New Year. I hope all the blessings of this time of year are with you. And for those of you who are going through, maybe you had, I think there was one of you who mentioned having lost a loved one last year on December 11th. I just want to say my heart goes out to you. It's hard sometimes for those of you who have, aren't getting to share your holidays with the ones that you love. But I'm very sure that those loved ones are there with you in your heart. And those memories are never leave. They're always, always there. So many blessings to you. And I just want to say thank you and take care. Any other things you want to say, Rodolfo, before I turn off the switch?
Yeah, no, just like saying thanks to you, Brenda, for this possibility. As you said, there are great things coming up on 2023, and just reminding them that if they would be interested in scheduling the session, they can like click the link that I just shared on the chat. Yes.
Yes.
I will
And
be
for
glad
whatever
to help them. Mhm.
for whatever reason, Rodolfo, your stuff is probably coming out. It's procarenow.com is the website. And it's also the sponsor green button at the bottom is our website. It wouldn't let me the craziness of this platform. I don't know, but that is the link button.